I'm basically a product of a film festival. Whatever the money I used to win in a film festival, with that money I used to make my next project. Filmmaking is a very costly dream. It's a very expensive dream. For just one frame, it costs around 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs to just design one frame these days. To make one scene, I have to wait around close to 40 to 50 days because my salary will come and then we will make the scenes of the movie. This movie speaks about level 7 addicts, those who have lost within themselves. It doesn't matter, the duration doesn't matter, whether it is 30 seconds or 2 hours. If you can tell your story in 30 seconds, it's well and good.
I have no idea who that was.
Joker, the
Oh, yeah,
actor
that
of
I know. Hi guys, I'm Ishita
And I'm Kanishka.
and welcome to Drop the Filter. Today we are sitting with someone who doesn't just tell stories, he builds them. A filmmaker, an entrepreneur, and someone who's been shaping stories across screens. Anshul Sinha, welcome to Drop the Filter. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling excited, very much excited. And thank you so much. You guys have traveled all the way from Bangalore till Hyderabad, and it's a great thing. And then I'm sure that the content which you are looking for in this city, you will definitely get it. And Hyderabad is having some amazing set of people, and then you will get that content which you guys are looking.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
I think that's why our selection of the city was such, because we do know that Hyderabad has a lot of stories and a lot of stories need to be told. And we're really lucky to have been gotten to connect with you, because we got in touch with so many different kind of people who have so many stories to share. And we're so happy that you're here today.
Even I am very excited.
So, while growing up, was filmmaking a part of your life? How you got into this field?
So my career started as a cricketer. I wanted to become a cricketer.
Wow.
Wow, I love.
Then it was like a career shift. While I was doing my MBA in mass communication, during that time I got exposure to a lot of film festival. So that is the point from where my film festival journey got started. So I started participating in a lot of film festivals as a part of my mass communication course. So that was an assignment given to me, and then when I was exposed to film festival, I got to see films from different countries, not only India. And then when I saw all those films, like short films, like 3 minutes and 4 minutes, that is the point where I started getting a trigger point that okay, it's fine. Like I can also make film with 2 or 3 actors, with 1 or 2 person, and experiment and can express myself. So that is how the career got started.
Do you think it's easier to make these short films or long format films? I mean, what are the hardships that the short films, go through as compared to the long format one?
See, short film is bit complicated because the duration is very limited. And nowadays, these days, it has came to microfilms, cut down from short to micro. That too in a duration of 30 to 1 minute. That's it. 30 seconds to 1 minute.
What?
Yeah. So that is the time period in which people want to consume stories these days. And lot of apps, Geo, Netflix, they are also coming up with their micro series apps.
Yeah.
So communicating a story in a very limited time span is very complicated. And then I learned this art from Iranian filmmaking, because they are the smartest when it comes to short film storytelling. So the structure of feature film is different and the structure of short film is completely different. For a feature film, we require a dedicated research work, thorough research work, almost close to minimum 3 to 6 months of research work is required to develop a feature film script. For a short film, a very deep observation is required. And the major challenge is with short films is that how a very big issue or how a very complex and complicated issue you tell within a limited time span of not more than 30 seconds to 1 minute.
Okay,
Wow.
you discussed about the the concept of a short film, but I also want to know, like, what does it come when it comes to budget? Because when you're building something, and obviously you're not from an industry which comes from the filming background, how do you manage your budgets?
So see, initially when I started my filmmaking career, obviously I'm coming from a middle class background. I don't have that big budget where I can afford 20,000, 30,000 of camera. This I'm talking somewhere back around 2013 and 2014. So that was the most challenging period. But as a creator, I feel that when those kind of challenges and pressure has been put on you, so that is the point where creativity comes into the picture.
Yeah.
What is the smart ideas you come up with, and then you want to tell the story. So basically, there should be a desire and there should be a hunger inside you that you want to tell it very badly, and whatever it may be, you have to speak it up, and then you have to come up with the storytelling. So that was the urge in me. I was very hungry to tell the story. But again, when I went outside my home, I was like not even having cameras with me and all. So when I was doing my mass communication, I borrowed mobile cameras from my friends. He was having that initial Nokia ka camera mobile.
Wow.
So that camera I was having, sorry, my friend gave it to me, and then I started experimenting. So during that time, the limitations with me was I cannot record an audio, because for audio again I have to hire a dubbing studio. So all my initial short films which I made with audio, that was literally I was because I was not able to properly capture an audio in it.
Yeah.
So when I started participating in film festival with that dead audio, I lost initially. I lost close to 7 to 10 short film festivals. Then I thought, okay, I have a device which can record a visual, but audio I cannot afford to record an audio. So I thought, let's experiment with silent films.
Oh,
So
wow.
I thought, okay, my limitation is I have only a device which can record a visual, but I cannot record an audio. That is the limitation. So I made a silent film called Lapet and My Chocolate Cover. These were my initial third or fourth short film, which didn't had any dialogue. But I thought that let me put that strength into the writing, into the screenplay writing. That is how my writing got means it started purifying. It started improving. So but then My Chocolate Cover went on to win around 21 awards. Lapid went on to win around 30 awards. So I got my first international awards for this short film called Lapid.
So where do these movies, I mean these short films screen? Like how do these reach out to such awards? Or how does it reach the global audience? Because you said it was about like how do you reach the larger audience?
So before 5G, before 2018, I used to submit it to film festivals because internet 5G didn't boomed out during that period. So till 2018, I used to submit it to film festival, participate there, and whatever the amount I used to get. So I'm basically a product of a film festival. So whatever the money I used to win in a film festival, with that money I used to make my next project. That is how my career got started, and that is how I sustained myself as a filmmaker, because filmmaking is a very costly
Yeah.
dream. It's a very expensive dream. For just one frame, it costs around 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs to just design one frame these days. So it's a very costly and expensive dream, but I dared to watch that dream, and then I was like, no, I don't know. I always have that urge that life is a one time experience, and we should live it to the
No, I
maximum.
agree.
Yeah, and I think I love the way you have taken your passion into something, combined with your work, and you were so determined to work through it. Like, even when you were explaining about how you couldn't get an audio situation, but you still made those silent films and you won so many
Yeah.
awards. So I think that would have given you such an encouragement. But I also want to know, what was your favorite film that made you think that you want to get into this?
Short films or long films?
Anything, something that clicked.
Clicked to you, like, I want to be in this industry, I want to make films?
So, see, when I started winning film festivals, it was like I won around 70 to 80 film festivals in the initial stages of my career. And then I thought, let me use this skill set for, for doing something meaningful, which has a soul connectivity where the soul speaking can happen with the audience, because artists, filmmakers, singers, writers, they have this power to connect with the souls of millions and millions of the people on this planet. So I thought, let me do something meaningful. So this was the point where from film festival I started shifting to myself to a meaningful cinema. So I joined as a program producer in HMTV news channel. There I did lot of documentaries and series of films for news channel. But end of the day, there was not a soul satisfaction happening there. So I did a project called Gateway to Heaven, which is based on a person who has completed last rites of close to 20,000 orphan dead bodies in India. So, but he didn't got any support from anyone. He was investing his own money and doing all the last rites of this
Was this
orphan.
during COVID?
No, this is back around 2014. Yeah. So I came to know about this person, and then I thought, okay, as a filmmaker, let's do something. But the budget of that project was beyond. It was close to 15 to 20 lakhs. So I was not having that much of production, and then whatever the award money I was getting in film festival, that was not sufficient to. So the budget was required to make that project was close to 15 to 20 lakhs, and then I wanted to badly tell that story because it's touched my soul and heart that there is someone out there, and let me do something. So I joined a night shift job for close to 18 months, and that is how my IT career got started, and then banking career got started. I was part of Accenture and HSBC brand. So I used to work for Google and YouTube also. So whatever the salary I used to get, with that salary I used to make Gateway to Heaven. So it used to take close to make one scene, I have to wait around close to 40 to 50 days because my salary will come and then we will make the scenes of the movie.
I have a question. Sorry to cut you. Now, she was talking about how insane it is to, really work towards your passion. And you seem very extremely passionate about if you like something, you want to create it. Now, there are often times in the creative field when you put your heart, your soul into a project. And because of some XYZ reason, it might not perform in the. I'm not saying it has happened to you, but I'm just saying in the larger world, it does happen that it doesn't perform well, where probably the audience doesn't like it, or it doesn't perform well monetarily, or XYZ. How do you bring yourself out of this?
So I always see, I have whatever the projects which I have done so far, I've close to worked on around 200 films. What I've observed in my career, in this 10 years of my career time span, I've observed that I'm inclined towards the spirituality a lot. And I always believe that if your intentions are right, then the doors will automatically open for you. And I have witnessed that in my career. If we talk about this project, Gateway to Heaven was having hell lot of challenges when we were doing this project. We were not getting investor, and people were like saying you are dealing with dead bodies, you are dealing with this person, no one will come to watch your film in a theater. So I didn't got any investors. Then I close to work around 18 months. Whatever the salary I used to get, with that salary I used to make this film. And after 18 months, again it ended up to be a highly controversial film because I was dealing with all the organ mafia and all in Hyderabad.
Oh my
How the
God.
dead bodies were being getting exported to different countries from Hyderabad. So this entire scam was exposed in this movie. And there was few more projects like this. There was one more project called Unseen Disaster, which was on biomedical waste. Then again, this movie got so controversial that it didn't got an official release. So again, I told you about that. My intentions were right. My intention was to bring lot of support for this person. So then later, when I didn't got any official release, I started submitting it to film festival, and then globally this project has got close to 12 international nominations, 6 international awards. And then this is how, from this project, my international journey got started. I was invited to UK, Italy, and then US. So then I traveled to different countries, and there they have watched this film. And then one of the film festival, they communicated with Telangana government, and then they told to look into this issue. And now this person on whom this movie is based, he is doing the last rites on behalf of government. So whatever the last rite this person is doing now, he is getting funding. So this is the massive impact which happened after this.
One movie of yours,
Yeah.
which is crazy because I think intentions really do speak
Yeah.
more than anything.
Yeah, also I think you were mentioning about how I think one of the movies was, it was about a social issue which was not able to release. Do you think it's a very dark side because how, your intention was just to talk about the issues that are happening in our country or maybe in the world? Do you think connections do matter at this point of time?
Obviously, see, the problem what is happening is that uh, the style of my cinema, it's very direct. I don't want to tell indirect stories because the kind of era we are living in, everyone has a maximum exposure towards the content. That is the era in which we are living. So as a modern filmmaker, I feel that the communication should be speed up and direct, because everyone is aware about what is happening in the past and what is going to happen in the future, because this generation is getting a lot of exposure to the content which was not there previously. So previously this kind of story of indirect communication that was required, but in this era the speed of the storytelling is very fast now.
Also because the attention span of people is very bad. Because I think short form videos, people want to get to the end of what happened.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they'll watch the entire, say, 1 minute, 2 minutes, but they do want to get to what happened. Because even very like now long format videos, I think for the last 2-3 years, very few movies have made the cut. Only because a lot of people are appreciating good cinema, good stories.
Yeah, than
Nobody wants to just watch a movie which has no good story or something that doesn't relate with them.
This is happening because what happens, with the lot of creators, they go with the predetermined mind that okay, I have a certain structure and template in my mind, and I will execute that and then do the story. So what different I do with my cinema, which helps me in cracking a global film festival, is that I let the subject speak to me. I don't go with the template mindset that okay, I want to tell this story in a romantic format or in a thriller format, in a horror or social, whatever the genre it might be. I first see that what is the natural genre is coming out from the subject. So whatever the cinema of whatever the film which I have done, if you will see, the storytelling is completely different. The previous project is completely different, and the current project which I have done, that is completely different. So that is what I have improvised myself as a filmmaker. So I let the character speak to me. I let the subject speak to me, and then according to that, the vision which my subject and character is trying to achieve, I stitch the story around.
So, as it is mentioned on your T-shirt, a film by Anshul Sinha, Million Views. Do you want to talk about this journey because it has been released in Nepal and it was a major hit there? So, how was your experience shooting this movie?
So Million You, again, as I say that I do a lot of research. I invest a lot of time in observing the things and the pattern which is going in and around me. So that is what basically is the job of a filmmaker. So I interviewed close to 55 to 60 mental health experts and people those who have done PhD on multiple addiction recoveries, which includes smoking, alcohol, and then pornography, obesity, procrastination, everything. So when I observed and then when I studied all this thing, I came to a stats that in India, by next 5 years, the biggest challenge will be by 2030, India will be declared diabetic capital. And then we have 85 crore of population which will be dealing with chronic isolation. Smoking will be increasing to 45 cr. Alcohol consumption is increasing a lot. If you see the source of revenue of Telangana, Punjab, and Tamil Nadu, 10 to 15% of revenue is being generated by alcohol. So where are we heading that we have to depend on a revenue of an alcohol to run a state? What is the direction which we are heading as a nation? So those are the points which triggered me that why there's so much of alcohol consumption. And if we speak about pornography also, the duration has been increased. In India, the consumption is happening for close to 2 to 3 hours per day. So why it is increasing? And by next 5 years, it will be like 4 to 5 years of pornography consumption per day. So this is happening because of the isolation. And why it is increasing? So all those things started triggering me. So if you ask me, Anshul, where the birth of your movie Million Views is happening, it is happening where the person has literally given up on his life. Because when this movie speaks about level 7 addicts, those who have lost within themselves. They have lost the battle within themselves and they have surrendered themselves to obesity, to alcohol, to pornography, or to smoking, or to isolation. And thus their brain has gone into a survival mode. That is the point where the birth of Million Views is happening. So what with million view we have done is that when we have started interviewing all these people and then personally meeting all the level 7 addicts, those who are going through the brain automation and all. So we thought that let us come up with a cinema which has a potential to heal the entire set of population. So if you see 1.4 billion of population in India, can you guess how many mental health experts do we have right now in India? Any rough numbers?
Zero. I think
A
every
lakh?
No, India, the disaster is we have only 9,000 registered mental health experts,
What?
which is which is trying to solve the mental health problem of 1.4 billion population.
So you're telling me the others are just faking it? Because I think 9,000.
It's a bit less, don't you think?
That is the only and in that 9,000 you will get only 6 to 7,000 those who are having an experience of 5 to 10 years and remaining are the newcomers. So that is the point. That is the mental health status. So no one wants to speak up openly about this
Definitely.
topic. So I took that decision that let me come up with the cinema which will cater to the 1.4 billion set of population. And this is not only in India. If we speak about Japan, if we speak about UK has appointed a separate loneliness ministry.
Oh my
Japan has
God.
appointed. So
What does that minister do?
they deal only with the loneliness of the population, because the entire set of population which the entire planet which it's heading towards the heavy isolation part, that we have seen in Japan also, that we have seen in UK, US also.
I think
Yeah, no,
right
for
now
sure.
there are awards given to countries as such as the happy countries. There's, I think, I don't remember the name of the country, but it's all led by women, so that's a happy country.
So even India is far more better. If I speak about US and UK, the porn consumption has gone up to 4 to 5 hours per day. So that level of isolation is
it's
happening,
really
and that is not that is
sorry, but that's really disgusting.
so that is like that is not happening out of pleasure. That is happening because of isolation. That is the level of isolation people are dealing with. So what we have done in our cinema, million views. So there's an extreme gray side of the human beings, and then the Shivani, the main protagonist of the film, we have given a Lord Shiva element to it. We have read entire Rig Veda, 800 pages. We have read Shiv Puran. We have read entire Bhagavad Gita. So I again spent 3 months in understanding the spirituality part, that how the spirituality helps in healing this entire set of population. So in the movie, again, it's the narrative and the structure of the movie is completely different, because we are trying to communicate with the entire India, entire nation with this cinema. That is what is the attempt we have made on a larger perspective. This cinema is not made for certain group of audience or certain type of people. This cinema is made for entire India who is actually battling. And in next 6 to 7 year also, the rise which is happening, million view will be the helping hand.
Do you have any plans of launching it in India as well?
See, the struggle which I am facing right now with million views, especially it's been close to 7 to 8 months, I'm struggling to launch this cinema on official platform like Netflix, Amazon and Jio, because they are the biggest player in India. And I want to come through that platform, because that they have the capacity to reach out to entire nation.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge which I'm facing the moment I'm pitching my project, I'm being labeled, because I'm becoming a victim of judgment. They are saying that okay, you have made a cinema on pornography addiction, and then they are not ready to listen to me. What see the dialogue which we are having right now, this dialogue is not. I've been labeled directly judged, and I've been out, declared out. So no, ours is a clean platform. We cannot release such kind of movies which you have made. So this is the statement which I am received from the biggest platform. See, the problem what is happening in India is that whatever might be the product, whether it is a movie or whether it's a podcast or whatever it may be, when you are going and pitching it to some of the bigger platforms in India, first you have to understand what is the vision, what is the purpose this product is trying to achieve. That dialogue is not happening in India. It is being judged that okay, you don't have any known face in your film, you don't have a star in your film, then it's difficult to release this film. So the ecosystem, it's star driven and it's hero driven.
Do you think that's a dark side of the industry? Like only the, because I think what they meant was like in your film there isn't someone who people know, so it won't work. But that's not the scenario, because I think the issue that you were discussing or portraying it to the world was very strong. So, like, might have taken a toll on you when you hear such comments. How do you deal with such moments? Because I feel it's not okay, because you've worked so hard, and a film that was basically that you made because you also want to represent your country, and it's not been coming out in your country, but it did really well in Nepal. So how do you deal with such, you know, bad,
Backlash.
yeah, backlashes and bad days?
So I take it progressively. Again, in the initial part of this podcast, I tell that I intend. My intentions are right with this project. What I am trying to do is that I'm trying to heal the entire 1.4 billion set of population with this cinema. That is what is my intention is. And the second part is that when I'm dealing with the business part of this cinema, somewhere they are right, because their entire decision making is happening because of the algorithm, and then they have to run their business, they have to run the show. So their first investment and stuff, first priority will be on the big star and big faces. But somewhere they have to uh, open some platform where
Yeah.
filmmakers like us, or new actors, new directors, new writers can go pitch their project, and then they get a chance to release their cinema.
Have you ever thought of releasing this on, say, YouTube or a platform, or creating a platform for just your short form videos and promoting that?
My major skill set is into the making of the film. So I tried a lot. I built a platform called MGF Microfilm. That is one of the platform which I have built. But again, what happens that once I make my film, then again my major time goes into the study part. So 6 to 7 months, that window gets completely shut. So that is how I failed to build a platform for myself. So as a filmmaker, I need a platform to launch my film. See, YouTube is the right way to release a film so that it can reach out to maximum people. But again, being a producer of this movie, see, I have worked around close to 2 years. I've self-produced this film. I have worked around close to 18 to 19 hours per day to make this project. So even we need a recovery model, and that will happen only when a major platforms they release our film. So yeah.
A doubt in this. So when you were talking about major platforms releasing your films, if I'm not wrong, it would be a feature film, right? So you cannot, release them in like different international platforms, like screen them in international platforms.
We can do that. See, Abhi, now I'm trying to release this in India. If that doesn't work out, then obviously the film festival backup is always there. Then I'll be coming through. That is, see, I've been doing that in my entire career. I've participated in over 800 film festival, one around 140 national international film festival. That route is always there. But if I get a launch through this platform, then that helps me to make my new projects also.
Definitely.
No, I agree. Now, you were talking about how you have worked and you've always had to take another way out. So, if there's someone who wants to start filmmaking and comes up to you and says, hey, I want to start filmmaking, what are the first three things you would ask him to do?
So I will first see that whether he is honest with himself or not, and I'll see how much hungry he or she is. See, in this my entrepreneur career, I run a media production called Output Media. I have given opportunity to close to 1,000 people so far. Those who have worked under me in different department, director, music, and being an indie filmmaker, I've always worked with newcomers, because obviously Star will not trust me. I'm an indie filmmaker. They won't give that star power to me to to make a film on them. So I have to always depend on newcomers and then do projects with them. So with newcomers, I always see that how much hungry they are. So what I see is that, see, if I'm blocking them, what are they doing? Are they making film with their mobile camera? So I check their social media, what they have done previously, how much hungry they are. So if that hunger is not there, I can't work. Whether they are from a professional film schools also, they have learned it or not, I want that hunger in them. If that is not there, that won't
It's
drive me.
difficult.
Yeah, I think definitely if you don't have the passion for it, and if you don't want to be, struggle for that part, it's never going to work out, because you might not know your film might, be, it can come further in the upcoming months in any Indian platform OTT. Also, it's a very fun question. So, what if there was no concept of filmmaking, films? What do you think you would be?
I would have found a medium of to express myself, because filmmaking gives me a medium to express myself. Whatever the ideas are coming up, but I want to. That is what is human. The entire human being is like that only.
Yeah.
You guys are expressing yourself via podcast. I am expressing myself via filmmaking. So if I would have found another medium to express myself.
I like that because I think
Yeah.
in today's day and age, people find it difficult to express themselves, talk about things, communicate. I mean, you're doing it with a very larger audience. People find it difficult to do it with people just sitting in the same room with sometimes. So I think the best way to life is to express themselves. And I think that's a very great alternative to have thought of.
That is very much required, because if then you will start suffocating if you don't express
Yeah.
it.
And then there'll be a day where you like
Yeah.
blast.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you are working on? What is your like 5-year plan?
So I see this as an opportunity, because I've done a lot of project which is vision oriented. So in the similar way, I want to develop lot many projects. So I have a project coming up called Train 18, which is a biopic of a person who has designed this train called Vande Bharat Express. So
The actual Vande Bharat. Wow.
Wow.
So that is the upcoming project which I am working out, and then constantly I'm trying to reach out Anil Kapoor. I want to cast him as a lead role in this cinema. So on this project I'm working since last 3 years. That is also parallelly going on, and then I'm going ahead. I want to build a platform where we constantly see cinema like this, which actually is rooted and which uplift people. So that kind of cinema I want to build. So in Mumbai also I'm trying to build a platform where we can see lot of movies coming up. The projects which I've done, Mitti Back to Roads, Million Views, Gateway, and lot of short films also. So India has lot of stories to be told. There are so many stories. I don't want to restrict myself to one genre of romantic cinema. I'm not against that, but we have seen hell lot of cinema in that genre, and then going ahead we are just exploring different angles of that genre.
Correct.
So there are so many stories which needs to be told. So I want to tell all those stories through what kind of the style of filmmaking I am having. So that is the direction in which we are heading as a platform.
That's really amazing. If there was, a biopic made of you, what do you like? Who you want to cast, and what name do you think would be perfect for it?
Who I want to cast? Joaquin Phoenix,
I have no idea who that person.
Joker, the
Oh, yeah,
actor
that
of.
I know. That was a really good one. And if you have a name like of the biopic,
Built on me. I don't know. Maybe it should be Forever.
Forever?
mm,
Wow.
I really like that.
That's very interesting. I think when you think about such words and thoughts of about yourself, it takes. But I love that you knew what you wanted. Because I think it has a deeper meaning to what you wanted to say out loud.
I had a childhood fantasy. I wanted to make it big.
So, do you think when you say that you wanted to make it big, do you think you had like restrictions from home? Because it's not a industry where parents from like I think my parents also like even we come from the non cinema background, and there might be some restrictions to get into a media field because you make it, it's great, but if you don't, there
Yeah.
are a lot of backlashes in terms of say money. Sometimes even media gets in. There's a lot happening. So do you think you always had that support from
Yeah,
family, or
I
how did
have.
you
I
build it?
always see in Gateway to Heaven. I lost 25 lakhs. I did a project called Mitti Back to Roots. I lost close to 1 CR in that. Million Views. I'm on a verge to lose around 1.5 CR. So I won't label myself as a successful filmmaker. And if you see my failure is very big. I've participated in 800 film festival. I've lost everything. It's just a ratio of I've won around 140. That's it. So the ratio of my failure is very, very, very big. But at in the same time, I take care of the family responsibility also. It's not like that I'm taking my parents' money and then investing. I know this it's a fantasy, and I have to budget my own fantasies. I cannot invest my parents' money, so I balance it well. So whatever my responsibilities are there in my family part, I take care of that, and I make sure that whatever the fantasies or whatever the risk, I'm taking in my filmmaking career, that is not affecting to my family. So that way I've managed to balance both.
I think that's amazing, because to balance your even your bad days and still handling your own family, which is really great. Also, I think you have won an Al Jazeera award, and I don't know if you guys know, but Al Jazeera is a very big, Middle East magazine. And how was that experience for you? Because I personally love that magazine, and it reaches globally to 430 million people. So, how was that experience? And was there, that intent that I have made it in my life?
See, again, the motto and the purpose of participating in this film festival was to communicate the problem which the city was going through during that period of, that time of. And then when we get an acknowledge, so what this acknowledge, this awards and all things do is that, okay, it gives us a right, and it triggers the people to watch this film. Okay, this guy has must have done something meaningful, and let's go and see this cinema. So that is the biggest soul satisfaction. We get more views for the cinema, and the problem which we are trying to solve with the cinema, that gets paged up. So that is what is more fulfilling than receiving the name and fame out of. So I always chase that part, because once we get any award or any big brand label to our project, the speed of progress starts increasing. So that triggers me a lot.
I think that's very crazy because that's so true. The second that happens, it's known to a larger audience, and a lot of people would want to watch. And your story, what you're trying to speak out, reaches the different people. Do you think that sometimes you spoke about how the ratio between your failures and your success in your terms is higher? But sometimes these small things, which you are calling it small, by the way, are, but don't you think that's a lot, where some people who aim for those small things are not getting it? Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Like, in terms of, there are times that I agree that there are a lot more failure ratio for you, but when you get these certain things that give you that acknowledgement, is that the push that keeps you working?
So I also have got blocked a lot of time financially, or getting a platform. Even right now, at this point of my career, I'm blocked with this million views because I'm not getting a right platform to launch this cinema. So Bhagavad Gita helps me a lot. It always says that just do your karma. That's it. You have that only one right with you, that do your karma. And I always see that what is there in my hand, this opportunity. So say for example, this podcast, who knows, this podcast can help me in cracking some big platform where I can release a million view project. So whatever is there in my hand, I have to give my 100% to it. That is what I strongly believe in it. Tomorrow there is opportunity with me, or with is there with me or not, I don't know. But whatever the opportunity which is there with me right now, I have to give my 1000% to it. That is what I believe in. So I I'll give a small example of how did I build my startup called Output Media. So it's been close to 6 to 7 years I've been working on alone, built this massive platform. So when I started I left my job and then started full time, that I'll be an entrepreneur and then be a filmmaker. So these are like two crazy things. Being an entrepreneur also is crazy, and being a filmmaker is also crazy. And if you mix this both, you will get more high. So I was like, let's experiment with this. So I initial phase, like first 3 or 4 months, I used to do a lot of cold calling, and I used to tell people, okay, I have won 140 awards, I'll easily get clients. But the reality was completely different. So initially I got 2 projects when I started my company, and I was like, okay, this is the last project of my company, and after 1 month my startup will be shut down because I don't have a marketing team who can go and market my startup and get a project for me. So I always believe that whatever the work which I'm doing right now, that will become a marketing tool for me, and I gave my 1000% to it. So, and last year we got a best corporate film award also, whatever the ad films and brand films. So in that way also, whoever the client is coming to us, we make sure that whatever the vision they want to achieve, through their ad film, brand film, they are achieving with the skill set which I'm having. So that is what I've believed in, and then that belief has helped me to reach till this point of my career.
I think you're also very spiritually connected by, looking the way you're talking. So, how do you deal with this connection in relation to your movies? Like, do you try to bring it into your movies?
Yeah, so that is what I've started experimenting with this project. So in Million Views, I've completely transformed myself. The style of storytelling is completely different. So I've experimented all these things on myself also, because initially I was not much inclined toward the spirituality. So when I started working on mantra chanting and all, specifically I started with basic Om chanting, and then I was having an excitement at what is the science behind this spirituality. What actually happens does it, like, is it genuinely working, or is it like people are just saying
Doing
that
it.
you guys just do some puja and all. So 2023, I gave a challenge to myself that I want to become a billionaire. And then I started a YouTube series called Billionaire India. So once you have given a MacGuffin to yourself that you want to achieve something in your life, but logically it's impossible. So logically, it's close to impossible that how can you become a billionaire? What is because your brain is not having that capacity, your body is not having that capacity. To a certain point of a career, you guys can experiment with yourself also. You can do like this. Just do this like 20, 30 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it as fast as you can.
Oh my god,
Oh,
this is already.
So now don't stick it.
I know.
So you will see that there's some
There's a
energy.
vibration and
Yeah.
energy, yes.
So there's a vibration and energy. So then I started reading about these energies and vibration, how these energies and vibrations actually work, and how do you activate your energies inside your body. So what we have done right now is that this part of your energy has been activated. So how does mantra chanting activate this? So I started chanting a lot of mantras. So this was part of process of my million views, because we are dealing with mental health cases and then level 7 addicts, and how do we uplift them. So I started experimenting with them. So basically what happens is that the series which I have made, Billionaire India, it has close to 50 to 60 episodes. Currently I have released only 25 episodes, because still now I'm in that experimental phase. So in a certain point of a career, logic stop you. Logic will say, okay, you have only 100 rupees, and you can start from X and you can reach till Y.
right.
That is the point where logic will tell you, okay, you can take only this decision, and that is the maximum you can go. But when you do mantra chanting, it activates all your 7 chakras. And what is those mantra chanting, and how do you chant those mantras to activate, and then which gives you new ideas, new thought process, and it breaks your internal pattern which you are
It's like
blocked.
a rewiring
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, the illusion which you have built. So mantra chanting breaks that illusions and helps you to see beyond that.
It's really amazing because I think you've also just done everything perfect with your choosing films that you want to talk about issues, also connecting the spirituality in that, because that gives you also a mental calmness with that, because you need to be okay to produce such films, because
Yeah.
obviously, like as you were telling, like the million views one, there were a lot of scenes that you wouldn't like want to see. I mean, because it's happening in our country, it's happening all over the world. People are dealing with so many problems nowadays. Alcohol consumption, smoking, a lot of more issues, like and you have, I think, mastered this thing, I feel. But I also feel, how do you like, this was all the glamorous part we talk about,
Yeah.
like in the industry. Do you think this is like, because if I see a movie, I just feel, if I see the industry, I feel it's just so glamorized, everything is so perfect. Do you think it is like that? What really happens behind the scenes of those movies?
Of the film industry, you're talking about
Yeah, I'm
Hyderabad or
talking in
Mumbai,
general
or
about the
in a
film
general?
industry.
See, every industry has their own dark side. I was part of corporates also. I am part of filmmaking also. Everything has their own dark side. So I always see the positive angle towards it, and whatever the dark side is coming towards me, I'm connected to the purpose of why I have chosen. So my why is clear. That why do you want to?
Just like you're very sorted. You don't think or look at something that's negative. You just want to focus on what is giving you the benefit from that, those things.
I see my cinema as a tool that it helps me to reach out to millions and millions of people out there, because that is the beauty of storytelling.
Do you think filming all of this helps you also?
Obviously, it helps me to express myself
Yeah, as in not in expressing, but like in a way of.
in a term of financial things.
Yes.
For that, I run my startup called Output Media. So I am a part of two startups. So I'm running, so that takes care of my financial stuff.
I like that. I think because balancing everything
Yeah.
is very important, because we're doing something similar with our podcast as well. We have careers and we're trying to support this career with that, so that that can be left when this is what's going to be reaping us the benefits of it. But I think that comes with a lot of maturity and understanding as to how stability is something that needs to actually be earned, because after a point it does become luxury to understand that yes, our
Exactly.
fathers, our grandfathers have achieved that kind of stability, and if as a family, sure, we have stability, but I think when it comes to individual and individuality and kind of things you do to the kind of stability you would like is something only you can speak about. And I think to attain that, it takes quite a bit of sacrifices and hustling. And I think we as a generation also don't want to give up on our passion. I think, yes, we want stability, agreed, but I think passion is something we don't want to give up on. Because how do you do something you don't like for a very long time? How do you fake something you don't want to work with for a very long time? So I think that comes with a lot of strength, power to keep doing what you want to do.
That is the battle which every human being is fighting.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's
everyone
right.
is in that hustle. Like everybody wants to go on top, but a very few, I think, get the right way. Everyone goes from the negative way. I have a quick rapid fire for you. So, are you excited?
Hmm.
Yeah, obviously.
Sanjay Leela Bhansali or Karan Johar?
SLV, as always.
Rajkumar Hirani or Anurag Kashyap?
Both.
Okay. SS Rajamouli or Lokesh Kanagaraj?
Rajamouli.
Okay. Christopher Nolan or Sanjay Leela Bhansali?
Ah, Nolan.
Oh, so I think Christopher Nolan is your favorite
All-time
director.
favorite.
So, what is that favorite movie? That
I obviously Inception. That
yeah,
is
even I
like
have a favorite. I have to tell it to you. It's Interstellar. I'm
I have
obsessed.
not watched both.
Yeah, I think she's not in that vibe of, but I love Interstellar. I'm obsessed with that movie.
I like his making style a lot. Specifically, that technique of frame within a frame, and the layers in which he goes of telling the stories. That
Yeah,
is
no, I
interesting.
feel also the concept of all of these movies are very like unique. It's either like they're giving us like a hard truth about life, or he's filming a non-fiction movie about some person, which I feel relates to you also because that's exactly what you also do with your filmmaking.
And he always plays with that time concept.
Exactly,
In
the
all his
whole
movies, that is a pattern.
Yeah.
the time.
Do you have certain patterns like this
Yeah.
in your throughout your
That you
movies?
have to watch my film and tell me.
I will get back to you on that then.
That was
But have you ever thought of moving to long format filmmaking?
Yeah, Million View is a full-length feature film.
Oh wow! So how long is it?
Gateway to Heaven is a feature film. Mitti Back to Roots is a feature film.
Okay, wow.
This is also a feature. So, Mitti Back to Roots ka we have done 1000 shows. That was on agrarian crisis in India.
Oh.
For that project, we have done a crowdfunding where 1600 people contributed for that project.
so nice.
That's crazy. So how do you convince people to?
So that was the most tricky part. So what I have done, I made an entire pre-visualization of that film, and then people those who wanted to contribute for that project, and then I was part of a community called TEDx Hyderabad in Hyderabad. So there's a person called Dinesh Chandrasekhar and Vivek Verma. They are like I can say that they are the one who are the biggest contributor in my career. So they gave me this platform, TEDx Hyderabad. I got an opportunity to give my first TED talk there. That was my first international talk. So that is the platform where these people stood with me, and they believed in me that, okay, Anshul, you do something. We all are standing strong, standing very strong with you. So this entire community stood with me, and that is how the project Mitti Back to Roots came out.
That's
I
really
think that's very
amazing.
nice
Yeah.
because I think at some point in your career you find those few people who actually believe in you, and then you realize you don't really need more people. I mean,
And the excellent part of this project Mitti is that it's being played in Sikkim regularly every Sunday as a part of the agricultural training kit.
wow.
If today also it might be definitely played in some part of the India. So it has helped millions and millions of farmer out there. I've got a lot of comments on YouTube. People have said that I was going to commit suicide, but this film has helped me, that encouraged me to not to commit suicide. So those kind of comments I've received from all the
I
farmers.
think at some point those are the kind of comments, and I mean,
That
numbers
keeps
is
you
one thing,
going.
but
Yeah.
such comments, like even for us, when we think of, sure, maybe say one video gets slightly lesser views, but it's reached the right two people and it's made a difference in their lives. I think that's what matters a lot, because it's making the right, because there will be people who will be watching it just for the sake of it. वहाँ पे movie चल रहा है, यहाँ पे you're not even watching it properly. But then there will be those two people who are actually watching it with the intention of actually getting some kind of knowledge.
Yes.
And that's the kind of people you, as a filmmaker, would want to make a difference.
Yeah, I think even that one person will make you happy at the end of the day because
Yeah. Of course.
We have received lot of, see, after Gateway to Heaven, we raised a funding of around close to 1 CR for that person.
Wow.
For Mitti also, after Mitti also, we have raised lots of fund. That has been directly drive to farmer. There's an organization called Center for Sustainable Agriculture. Entire funds has been gone in that direction. So this is so the cinema, kind of cinema which I am making, it's a sustainable cinema. Mitti Back to Roots will be sustaining for next 10 years. Gateway will be sustaining for next 10 years. Million Views will be sustaining for next 10 years. So that kind of cinema I am working on.
I have a question also. Like, you, apart from the million views, you were just talking about the agriculture one. That's a very positive impact movie. Why don't you like? Why are you like? I have a thought in my mind. Why are these films not coming on OTT platforms? Because personally, I love to watch these kind of like movies. You will never see me watch any romantic movie. Like my context, my movie will be based on maybe like Christopher Nolan or related to these kind of movies which are like non-fiction, what's happening in a country. I love to watch. So have you ever found that one top issue that why is it not
See,
coming
the
on these
problem what is
platforms?
happening with me, with my kind of storytelling, no, say when I speak about Mitti Back to Roots, I openly speak about why so many farmers have committed suicide in Maharashtra. In Maharashtra is the biggest state where a lot of farmers have committed suicide. If you see this national crime data, around 3,80,000 farmers have committed suicide. So in that, when I started doing research, 2,80,000 farmers are from Maharashtra. So in the kind of cinema I make, I speak up openly why those suicides are happening. But when it goes to OTT or some platform, they say
They
that
can't be
it's a
too blunt.
controversial.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
cannot speak about this
I think
thing.
maybe valid from their end as well, because for them also it's money making
Yeah.
business.
So what I have done with Mitti and Gateway is that I have told all this thing in an indirect way, because I myself come from a documentary background. I come from a journalism background. So I know these things cannot, the names and specifically the names and all cannot be spoken openly. So that is how the fiction comes into the picture. The fiction narrative helps you to tell openly what is actually happening and what needs to be solved. So that is what I have done with Mitti Back to Roots. Mitti is not only speaking about problem. If you see the cinema as a whole, we are speaking about an agriculture scientist whose vision has been implemented, which helps the farmer to come out from the crisis. So it is like a role model cinema. It is not like that we are highlighting the problem, playing the sympathy card, and then stitching some cinema out of it. That we haven't done it.
I think it'll take few years for the industry to like maybe talk about these issues openly. What I am thinking, but I really hope that all of these movies go live. What is that one harsh reality about directing a film that you won't like you are also even scared of telling it to people?
I feel that, say for example, films like which has unwanted fantasies. I don't understand what is the logic behind making those kind of cinema. So I don't know why do people invest so much of millions and millions of rupees to just show a fantasy which doesn't exist in the human reality. So I don't want to go in that direction as a filmmaker.
Valid though, because I mean, I'm not saying a lot of people enjoy it. Great. I think it's more about
It's
cinema and
a money making business because the visuals get to people more than I feel the storytelling.
yeah, no, of
Like
course.
for me, if like I like those movies, but for me it's like, oh my god, the bomb blast, like all these flying
But I
creatures.
like the reasoning which they give.
Yeah,
The scientific reasoning for how the Spider-Man got into existence, how
yeah,
the
this is what the
Captain,
multiverse.
yeah,
Yeah, I am a big fan of the Captain America, the Marvel Studios. It doesn't really exist, but I'm excited for Doomsday.
yes.
Sorry, I'm not in this.
You don't have exposure to international cinema.
I watch only romantic comedies, international and Indian.
Then
I
you might be loving Korean cinemas also.
yeah.
Yes.
K-drama.
I watch any kind of cinema, any kind of movie shows as long as it's romantic comedies. I do enjoy very patriotic movies a lot actually, especially of course that's specifically only Indian. But other than that, I'm a very rom-com person. Once in a while, sitcoms manageable, but overall, I would like to watch only romantic comedies. I can't watch all this multiverse and all of that. I can't. I watched Spider-Man, all three, enjoyed it, but again, it has romantic comedy in it, hence.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my only content genre I understand and enjoy thoroughly.
Yeah. Do you also feel like our attention rate today is like very less? Do you think it's killing the storytelling of movies?
No, that is actually very good. Say for example, if I don't have to make feature film to tell what I am trying to achieve. So that is very helpful as a
Because he's
creator.
making movies at the span of 30 seconds.
I'll give an example of my short film called Waterman. That's just a 1 minute. So that has got 45 international awards. Just a 1 minute. So for that 1 minute cinema, I was invited to Serbia, then Croatia, Cambodia, Nepal. So it doesn't matter. The duration doesn't matter whether it is 30 seconds or two hours. If you can tell your story in 30 seconds, it's well and good. Why do we have to waste the time of our audience?
I agree because now they've also started showing these content through real stories, real
Yeah.
movies, real shows.
Yeah, like
So like each episode is for
yeah.
a minute and it's like a 30-minute
Yeah,
thing.
that's a 1100 billion market
Yeah,
in the
and it's
next 4 to 5 years.
insane.
Do you think you can do that for the movies that you've already made?
I have been already done it. I've made 100 microfilms. I have built this microfilm app back in 2019. I started a sister company called MGF Microfilm. So I've done a lot of my career started with microfilms only. So there's one film called Freedom. That's just 40 seconds. That got me 7 international awards. So, so see the beauty with the microfilms is that you are right there on the point,
Yeah.
which you don't want to get deviated. So it's you are directly there on the hook point, and then you tell it, and then you exit. And
It's slightly sounding more difficult to create a movie in 40 seconds.
yes, see the beauty is that the indirect communication, no, that comes into the picture, into this micro story.
There's no beating around the bush. You have direct. And I think it's the best way to express because even in life, usually people take years to express themselves. But if you were put in a confined room and said you have 30 seconds to express or never again. So everyone will start doing
Will
it.
be very scary. I don't know how you guys do it.
If you think about it
See,
in the
there's a
larger
technique
spectrum.
behind it. There's a learning behind it. If you know the art and the structure of telling these microfilms, no, then it gets very easy. Otherwise, it's very complicated if you don't know the art of how to tell this micro.
I think it's also like how you create content. Like a lot of people create 1 minute content.
There was a
videos.
great director called Abbas Kiarostami. Have you heard his name? Abbas Kiarostami is an Iranian filmmaker.
It's a movie.
Yeah, so he has done a lot of movies. Iranian film movies. So he was great in telling these kind of microfilms, and he used to he used to make films with non-living things because he was having lot of restrictions. He cannot go
Oh
outdoor
yeah,
and
Iran.
shoot films, and then he used to make films with kids also because he don't have people. It's a taboo to do acting in Iran, so he used to make films with
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
So kids are allowed?
Kids do the act. So majority if his initial short films which he has done is in his initial career, if you see a lot of kids those who have acted.
So there are no movies in Iran?
There are a
There
lot of
are,
great cinema.
like in a way, like feature films are taboo there because of the ongoing situations. Like yeah. Do you also have plans in shifting your niche or your genre? Because I think right now you're focusing more on like storytelling. Do you
No,
also
again, see, sorry to stop you. I don't restrict myself, and I'm open to all genres. I told you, I let my subject speak to me. If my subject tells me that Anshul, this needs to be treated in a rom-com, I'll make a rom-com.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask like for a
Yeah,
comedy style movie.
I can do that. See, if I have to, the Waterman which I told you, it's a comedy genre. The Freedom film which I told you, that is a romantic genre.
Do you think if you make like a comedy movie and it goes on OTT, then if you can help get your other the storytelling movies onto OTT, because then I think the people there will be more like yes,
Willing
we are
to work with
willing to
you.
work with you.
See, the challenge here is that as a creator, no, again, then see, if I go with a certain template that I want to do only comedy film, and then if I go with that predetermined, and then I'll tell, okay, this is the subject, and I want to force comedy into this.
Oh yeah.
Not possible. Then I'm not justifying the honesty and the naturality of the subject, which
You shot a comedy movie and you put it on OTT. And then now the people from the industry have seen you and they know how your work is, and then maybe just have you ever thought of putting your, for example, million views on OTT? Like that was my concept.
we are trying our level best to bring million views on OTT platform. That is what is the hard work and the hustle and bustle is going on currently. And then Mitti Back to Road was on MX Player for 5 years. So we had an agreement with MX. So for 5 years it was on MX Player. Now it has got a merger with Amazon. So this project is out and it's on YouTube. The reason why we kept it on YouTube because accessibility in the remote areas of the India also it can reach.
Yeah, I think for
Yeah.
MX you have to purchase a subscription.
So
And
that is the decision why. So that is the reason why we thought let's go with YouTube and release this film on.
Makes sense. I think eventually what has to, I think it's the idea of reaching the larger audience, whether it's
And
through
another
OTT.
important, which like the OTT angle which you have brought. See, currently now OTT it runs on algorithm. The entire decision making of OTT is happening on the algorithm because they know, they are aware that what kind of audience do they
Would
have on
watch
the
what?
platform, and they know what kind of content they will consume. So whatever the content they will make, that will be according to the choices of the audience which they'll do. So on OTT, if you see OTT, there's a lot of gray element is going on. If you see last 5 hit web series of India, which is Sacred Games, Patal Log, Delhi Crime, or with that the first which was on Asur or Family Man, you will see a pattern in that. You will see that there's an extreme gray side of human beings is been showed.
yeah, you can see in
in-
Patalok and Asur.
Yes.
Like if you see all the three
Correct.
seasons, if you see the end season, it's a very
Correct.
dark side to it. Like it's
So that is the kind of psychology which goes into OTT.
and then what everyone is doing is a similar plot, but
Correct.
everyone is just coming up with famous people, and then it's
Correct.
just the same plot, it's the same. It just change a little bit here and there, but it's the same plot.
Yeah, the strong reason behind this is there's a psychological pattern which is going on currently in India. That same thing we have implemented in Million Views also. So Million Views, so there's one case in the Million Views where the character justify rapes. Because if you see the rapes which is happening in our country, the brutality has been increasing. If you see Kolkata rape case, if you see Delhi rape case, and if you see Shraddha Walker case also, Shraddha Walker ka case you must have heard it. See the brutality, what is happening. Am I open to speak about this?
Yeah.
No, she hasn't heard the case, so she was.
So even if you see the Bangalore suicide, that Subhash Kapoor, that guy, he has did a suicide. So million views speaks about this entire issue in an indirect way. So that is what is the I can openly say that this cinema is the soul of the nation. That level of work we have done.
Yeah, I think
in
people
this
haven't
project.
seen it yet. It's just like a lot of maybe like negative PR and a lot of like, when you don't have that right people to go to at the start of the thing to launch something.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think once it reaches the right
Reaches,
person
yeah.
at that level, I think it gets easier to reach out to 10x the
Yeah.
number.
So I wanted to speak about this openly, the rape cases which is increasing in our country. See, who is giving birth to this rapist? Somewhere they are one among us, and why it is happening? So if when I did my study and then I came to know out that there's a very big economic gap is happening in India, where rich are becoming rich and poor.
Who is becoming.
And the
But I
middle-
think that's been the case for a very long time in our country.
What is triggering that, and why that has been not getting solved on a psychological part? That is what I have attempted with this project, Million Views. And when it gets released on a larger, on a broader way in entire nation, it is not only solving that case. There are multiple scenarios which Million Views is trying to face. Even if you see the Shraddha Walker case, see the disaster of that case was that that guy, after killing the girlfriend, he was there with that body for next 6 months, and he was talking with the fridge,
he kept the body in the fridge for 6 months.
and then he was talking with, and then he just want to show that I am right. So that
How?
He'll tell off that he was having some, I shouldn't say this, but like issues, like psychological issues.
no, see,
and
it was a very simple. Ishita, that was a very simple case where this girl wanted to get married, and this guy wanted to be in living relationship. So that male ego came into the picture. That why are you not listening? So that domination part, that I want to dominate a woman. How can her choices is not agreeable? So that part, and then that went to that level that he started having a conversation with the dead body for next 6 months. So what is the psychological part which gave birth to this? Even if you see the Subhash Kapoor suicide case which happened in Bangalore, he literally committed suicide and recorded an entire 40 minutes video on a YouTube.
about how the wife and
So in Million Views, what we have done, there are around like 25 to 30 cases in which has happened in last 3 years. I'm not going last 5 years back. In last 3 years, which has shook the entire nation. So why that is happening? So that is what as the question which I have asked myself as a creator, and how I'm going to fix it as a filmmaker, and that too just with a 120 minutes movie, and how I can reach out to an entire nation and then try to fix what is actually happening in this country. That is what I have done as a filmmaker. And whatever the cases which I have told you, that has been indirectly we have brought it into our
and
cinema.
not to like even hurt sentiments of the people who are involved on those scenes. I think that's really inspiring, because what I have learned from this podcast from you is like you just want to make honest, movies, honest filmmaking, honesty, and you don't care whoever.
Ishita, what I have done with my cinema, no, I'm speaking directly with the soul.
Yeah.
Not with your emotions, because basically whatever the cinema or this podcast we are doing, we're trying to hit certain emotions.
Correct.
Trigger those emotions and make people generate views out of it. Yeah. Because we are trying to hit the emotion. What experiment which I have done with Million, I'm cutting off that layers of emotions, I'm cutting that layers of your senses, and then I'm directly talking with the soul, and that is only possible with the Lord Shiva element.
Yeah, the spirit.
That element I have bought in the cinema.
I
That
think
is
it
what
is very raw and unfiltered and very direct to the point.
this is
I
why
think
it's
that's how it
like
should be.
larger than
Cinema
life.
should, of course, a lot of times we all enjoy a lot of non-fiction and exciting things that's going on, but once in a while a reality check is necessary, because I think when a lot of movies came up in the recent past about very straightforward conversations, straightforward discussions, it was acknowledged by a few, it wasn't acknowledged by a few, but at the end of the day, the message was passed, and I think that's what's
So what I
needed.
have done with million views, I've kept it very entertaining. It is not like that we are just trying to give some information. I've kept it very entertaining, and I've made it completely in a thriller, horror, and drama format. So that three genres I've touched it.
So, coming to the end of the podcast, I have a drop the filter question for you. So, if someone wants to get into the industry, and I would say in a way of like of maybe a director or an actor, what is that one sentence advice you would love to give them? And I'm telling from a background, they have no connections, nothing.
The only thing is pick your camera, shoot it, put your film on YouTube, send it to film festival. That is the only way right now to build your career as a filmmaker. Because if we speak about OTT and industrial, that has gone to a stagnant point. Because in 2020, when the OTT era got started, OTT has taken a lot of content, and then it has become stagnant now.
Stagnant, yeah.
So that doors are completely closed for you, and that is only open for known faces or star driven. So that is what this is my personal experience,
Yeah,
which I'm
definitely.
observing since last 8 months of distributing my cinema on my own. So pick your camera, and if you want to be want to build a sustainability in being a filmmaker, then do ad films and all, because that will fuel in and that will take care of your financial things.
Yeah.
That you have to go on this two parallel track. That is the era in which we are going on. You cannot full time dependent on the passion part.
Passion, yeah. No, I
I
agree.
think once you've achieved it, but you need to have a side hustle while you're achieving the process to make it look
Last
more,
longer.
yeah, and also more practical, because you also can't risk your own belongings, life. There's like a family behind you.
Yeah.
So
This happens with lot of singers. They compared to us, they are having more struggling career.
Why would you say that?
Because see, we can do ad films, documentaries. We have that liberty to switch ourselves into multiple segments.
Yeah.
They don't have that. They have a limitation. They can either do the jingles and all, or they can do some indie album and.
even if they sign with a company, they cannot even do with some other people, or maybe like a music, like a film base. So it's very complicated for them.
Valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I think that was it, and I am really like inspired by you, by your whole journey. It was really inspiring, and I really hope million views, all of us can see really soon. We all are like,
yeah, we
yeah.
don't have to go to Nepal to see it, hopefully.
Yeah.
No, it's coming soon in India.
Yeah, we're very excited and we're so happy that you could make it here. I think there was a lot of learning, a lot of conversations about passion, a lot of, I think, raw conversations about life and
Life,
struggles.
yeah,
And
struggles, and also like, I think a lot of people who will be watching this, and like as a kid, मुझे भी actor बनना है, मुझे भी ये करना है. So I think they might have a clear vision of what exactly happens, and they can also be in a right path, because if it's earlier the better. But thank you so much for coming here, giving us your time to give such thoughts.
Thank you so much. Only one last conclusion is that again, if your intent is right, then automatically all the doors will open for you.
yeah, no, I do believe in
Yeah.
that.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and it was a pleasure to be here as a guest on your podcast.
We're so
Thank
happy.
you. We'll see you
Thank
next Friday. Bye.
Bye.